Hey yo, welcome to Football Dialogue with me, your host, Paulinho. And of course, I'm not alone. I'm with Kedzido, our award-winning journalist. As you know, we bring it to you here live. We're talking nothing but football. Football conversations are nice, guys. So let me take you straight to it. Kedzido,
Shopolistos.
our award-winning journalist. How's it, bro?
No, I'm fine, thanks you, my brother. How are you?
No, I'm good. I'm away. Arsenal drew against Palace last night. I'm sure that might have got you off guard.
It was surprising for me because remember, even though we understand that Liverpool has already won the league, but at least we wanted to close that space and correct all the mistakes that we did, especially just a couple of games before the end of the season, though. But yesterday, it really showed that indeed Liverpool, they are the champions. Going to the next game on Sunday when they play against Tottenham Hotspur, they just only need 1 point.
They just need 1 point. So, and of which it's highly possible that they're gonna attain that. So it goes to Liverpool. Already we can predict it goes to Liverpool.
Absolutely.
Then now, our predictions for UEFA.
Champions League.
Yes, and they went as we have predicted. I did mention to you to say, I feel like Aston Villa is going to give PSG a run for their money. Remember I told you that?
Yes.
And they managed to pull one back to close the gap, the 3-1 aggregate. They won 3-2, which made it 5-4.
Yeah.
So I knew, because Aston Villa had advantage. They were playing home. I was a bit disappointed with Real Madrid.
let's touch more onto all of this.
Yeah, so, and also Barcelona, as you said, Barcelona did well. And then Inter, we see it also coming forth. Well, we're looking forward to second leg.
Yeah.
But today I want us to discuss CAF, since tomorrow we have second leg for CAF. And it's going to be quite interesting. It's going to be quite interesting. So let's begin with the MAMELODI SUNDOWNS and AHLY. We know leg one, they played draw, 0-0. And it's going to be difficult for MAMELODI SUNDOWNS. It's looking difficult for them. With the mistakes we mentioned, it seems like they've not fixed them, especially at the back, AHLY, they'll be playing home. All the advantage. They have fan base, It will be awesome for them. It will be a good game for them. Do you see MAMELODI SUNDOWNS, even though they will be playing away, fighting to go through to the finals?
Now you're taking me back to that season when MAMELODI SUNDOWNS won the CAF Championship tournament.
Yes.
I think it's about 8 years ago, where they beat the same team, which is AHLY, on the same tournament.
Yes.
Now they played here at home, the first leg. For me, I felt AHLY was a very strong team.
Sure.
MAMELODI SUNDOWNS, you could see that they all what they wanted was just a draw.
Yeah.
A draw of 1-0 or a draw of.
And I feel like they were still trying to figure themselves out.
Absolutely.
Do you think the match between Kaizer Chiefs and MAMELODI SUNDOWNS might have had an impact in their game?
Too much. And remember, in the starting lineup between MAMELODI SUNDOWNS and AHLY, starting lineup had to be rotated.
Yes.
After the game of Kaizer Chiefs, that means Kaizer Chiefs exposed MAMELODI SUNDOWNS their mistakes, and also being conscious of going to their team.
True.
So now they are very happy because they played a draw here in South Africa. They need to score a goal when they are in AHLY. They have already arrived in Egypt right now. I would say they needed to score and as well to defend after that. That's what they need to do. But I feel like it's a good advantage for MAMELODI SUNDOWNS having to play a 0-0 draw here in South Africa and going there. Now they have to make sure that they attack a point and score as many goals as they want to score on the tournament. But I see MAMELODI SUNDOWNS actually going through, but it won't be an easy game. 90 minutes is going to be like a year for MAMELODI SUNDOWNS to go through to the final. It's the last game actually of the tournament before the last final game.
And I think it will mean a lot for Mamelodi Sundowns since they've been kicked out of Nedbank Cup. So this is the only cup that they are looking forward to because we know they are known for winning league. So it won't be new. Like it's not something that they are looking forward to getting because they've been getting it the league. So this is the one that they are looking forward to. I think they are the more hungrier than AHLY. And of course, AHLY still wants to fight because they still believe in themselves, you know. Then now looking at the predictions.
My predictions would be...
You've already alluded that Mamelodi Sundowns might take it.
Yeah.
But now predictions maybe...
My prediction would be 2-1.
2-1.
Sundowns will be scoring 2. AHLY will score 1.
Okay.
And AHLY are going to score 1 and wanting to attack and draw on the game. It won't be easy for Mamelodi Sundowns to actually defend with it, but it's going to be a nail-biting game.
Sure.
You know, where we'll see.
That's true. Sorry to cut you there. With my predictions, looking at leg 1, AHLY was dominating. Leg 2, Mamelodi Sundowns will try to fight because they know this is their last game, you know. Yeah. They will treat it as such, as their last game. But I see it going beyond 90 minutes. I see it going to extra time. Wow. I see it going to extra time because it will be tight. And eventually AHLY will take it. I see Mamelodi Sundowns coming out of this.
Well, yes, I won't.
And that's my prediction. I see it going to extra time and AHLY taking it.
I won't disagree with you, Paul.
Yeah.
But football is a game of so many surprises.
That's true.
You cannot predict it.
You can't.
Even myself, when I say they are going through, I'm not saying that's it. That's what is going to happen.
Yes.
I'm very glad that me and you, we are in a different view now to say AHLY is going there, Mamelodi Sundowns is going. I'm saying Mamelodi Sundowns is going there. So we just wait and see to see tomorrow which team will go through.
Sure.
That's when we'll talk about it. When after this game.
All right. So let's jump straight to Orlando Pirates and Pyramids.
Wow.
Recap League 1.
Wow.
I'm an Orlando Pirates fan. I was a bit disappointed with how Orlando Pirates was playing. I was a bit disappointed. Would you say FNB, us playing at FNB Soccer City, that might have had an impact in our game?
Well, I wouldn't agree with you because Orlando Pirates can play kill chiefs. They are playing big games in FNB.
In FNB, yeah. Most big games develop. Yes.
So it could be so because they are used to playing in Orlando Stadium, but then they were playing in FNB as the host. Yeah. As the home game.
Yes.
But Polly, a stadium is a stadium. A team can perform very well besides playing at the stadium. I mean, look at the countries that are winning World Cups. Yeah, even playing at their nations where they are used to play at, but they just go there and qualify and do the best. So Orlando Pirates, I feel like on the day they were not in the good mood. Yeah. They were caught in between. Pyramids actually surprised them. Those are the underdogs. Whoever thought Pyramids will do that, but that team, it is a quality of players. I can personally say they deserve to be where they are. Pyramids deserve to be where they are because they play very beautiful game. And I don't know, VAR was.
I was about to touch on that to say the VAR. What are you saying? What's your judgment on the call that was made?
The first goal, I'd say it wasn't a goal, but the second one,
the handball one.
Yeah, the Pyramids got really cheated on the
So you say
the penalty was supposed to be
the second disallowed goal was supposed to be a hand goal.
Yeah.
Okay. How would we have labeled that goal? A hand goal.
No, but there's always a ball.
Was it a ball to hand?
Ball to hand.
So according to you, it was a ball to hand.
Ball to hand, not intentionally touching the ball.
Yes.
But it's VAR. They have seen that. That's why we need VAR.
Yeah.
Like
that's
this.
True.
But Pyramids as well, they have done their homework in South Africa. Going back, they know exactly how to play against Orlando Pirates. The intelligence and very brilliant mindset of coach Also, Rivero.
Yes.
I know it's going to change everything going there, knowing exactly that he'll be playing against a super, very powerhouse team, which is Pyramids. And also, we are going, both teams of South Africa, they are going away games to the North Africa. The country that we all know, they are South African arch rivalries when it comes to football. So it's going to be a very beautiful weekend back in Egypt. The whole country will be running behind these two teams in making sure that they qualify for the same way South Africa felt during the Easter weekend. The same Egypt will feel. So the Egypt have the biggest advantage of taking this. They just need to score one goal. South Africa as well, South African teams, they need to also score one goal. So it's both hand in hand to see how the teams will see. It's going to be in history to see Egypt teams being the semi-final. It's going to be in history as well, South African teams being the final. It's a square. You just have to wait and see how the teams will.
The whole South Africa will be rallying behind Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. I'm not so sure about the Kaizer Chiefs fans. I'm not so sure about the Kaizer Chiefs fans. Well, I would say a good call by the referee with the assistance of VAR for both disallowed goals. That was a good call because the second one, for me, when they scored that goal, because of the angle of the camera, I thought it was in. But when they pulled it closer, I could see that was a hand.
Absolutely.
Not so much, or not so sure about hand to ball or ball to hand, but it was literally coming from the hand to the net. So for me, it was a good call by the VAR. Now let's look at approaching this the second leg for both teams. That will be both matches. What do you think coaches need to do differently?
Let me start with South African football. South African coaches who are coaching Sundowns and Pirates. Sorry to say, Chiefs. This is what they need to do.
We're not talking about that back.
This is what they need to do. They need to, just appreciate the fact that the Egyptian teams, when they came to South Africa, they came very ready because they wanted, when South African teams now go to Egypt, to perform very well. They've seen how these teams are playing. It's just a matter of finishing what you have started. Yes, there were no goals in the first games, but now you are going away.
Yes.
And playing away games, it's always very difficult. You are playing against 12 men. 12 men being the fans who are always packed in the stadium. So it's not going to be easy. I know very well that South African teams are now getting used to the stadium being packed, but still playing very well. That's what they need to put that behind their mind to say, we are here to win, we are here to qualify for the final to represent the country. So we just can't wait to see how tomorrow is going to be like Polly, but I believe it's going to be very nice. They need to just tell themselves that, you know what, the first legs, we've learned a lot on how to attack these teams, on how to even defend whenever they attack us. So it's a matter of that and understanding how those teams are playing. But I believe so that the two of South African teams, they can go to the final.
That's true. Yeah. I think I have to agree with you there, I have to agree with you. Now, you mentioned that Pyramids dominated the game against Orlando Pirates. Do you see them going to the final?
With what they experienced, where 2 goals they believed they were in, but
the coach was even crying.
You see, so now
he begged.
So now it's going to be a matter of being angry, of wanting to beat this team that we feel like playing at their home ground, and they had an advantage of VAR or not goal to be scored. Now they are playing home game. They want to actually show their fans that this is what we experienced at their home team. Now we want to finish this team that we know very well that they play weaker than us. But football, we cannot predict it. Something can happen in the second half or in the first half, then they defend the second half. Because they're playing against, like, there's 2 games that are going to, South African teams are going to play against Egyptian teams. It's not how beautifully you play, but how do you win the game, qualifying into the final.
Touching on the how aggressive they're going to be, looking at how they were treated, or rather how the goals were disallowed and all that. And now, Patrice Motsepe, CAF president, he mentioned something about kicking out corruption and chaos that takes place in stadiums. I foresee that happening, especially if the VAR will make such decisions or goals being disallowed. I see that arising, What's your take on that? Don't you see the chaos or any corruption happening, seeing that they will be playing from home and they'll be aggressive about it?
I think the continuations of the partnership between AHL and CAF came on the right time, where we were actually left with 2 days before this second leg of CAF semi-final plays. It came at the right time for the CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, to mention that, because we've seen this happening during the quarterfinals, even during the group stages, where teams clashes or fans clashes between themselves according to how the results of the game went by. But he wasn't even shy away of that to say, should something like what happened in Pretoria between Esperance and Sundowns, he doesn't want to see that again, because it affects the beautiful game, regardless of how the games are being played.
It paints a bad picture.
It paints a bad picture in the continent of Africa to say, look at, they want to win a World Cup, but look at how they are treating themselves. So it came at the right time to say, should something happen this week, coming weekend, there's going to be a very bad punishment for whoever started there. But we know very well that whenever South African teams are going to play in North Africa, there's always a fight, there's always disagreement. Our fans in South Africa might not go to Egypt this coming weekend, but the players are going to feel it, because they are the ones who are playing, and we hardly have a strong support that we get from South Africa. But I believe that after what the President, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, has said yesterday in the media briefing, to say corruption, the violence, chaos, and the violence in the stadiums has to stop now, because it affects
it messes up our football,
regardless of the decisions of the referee on the particular game.
Oh, no, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much, bro. I think that's all we had for today. I just wanted us to touch on that. We're not going to touch on the Nedbank because we're going to fight. And this show won't end because you're a Kaizer Chiefs fan, I'm Orlando Pirates fan. So we're going to fight. But I can't wait for that day. Derby play.
I don't know if you realize that me and you are still going to clash in terms of our teams.
In terms of our teams,
in the next coming future.
Because even in UEFA, PSG is playing against Arsenal. So we're still gonna fight.
Yeah, I'm still going to.
So make sure, guys, you are tuned in, because there's gonna be fights arising here. Since he's Arsenal fan, Kaizer Chiefs fan, I'm Orlando Pirates, PSG fan, and we'll be facing each other, on both games. I think I really appreciate you, man, for today's, enlightenment about football. It's Football Dialogue with Paul and Kat. You know what it is. We bring it to you live. Please don't forget to follow, subscribe, and we'll see you after tomorrow's match.
Thank you so much.
So next week we'll be talking UEFA.
Yes.
Let's end it here. Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Sure. It's UEFA next week and champion and the Nedbank Cup.
Nedbank Cup.
Yes.